Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope I've reached you in a positive moment. This channel is about all things business, more specifically, my experience with small business and whatever I can do to help you start, run, and grow your small business. Now, I've covered sales and maybe very vaguely, so I'll share the experience where my very first sales position, I answered an ad out of the paper. It's, kind of scammy today, but I still answered it and I went and drove to the location 7 o'clock in the morning, got the position, immediately went out with one person. I presume the manager, but now I know that he was the owner. And this guy proceeded to train me on how to sell. We went out, we parked, and we walked in a direction, north or south or whatever. So we just walked in a direction towards where the most people were gathering or going. And every single person that we talked to or saw, every single person that we saw, we talked to. So they had to be of adult age, with buying power. So no children. But if we had something for children, we would demonstrate it in front of the children and make the children react. And then the parent had to react. So this man, and I was very timid, but I just, he did the first couple pitches and then I tried. I kept trying and kept trying. And I can't tell you, no, I didn't get a sale my first time, but I can't even remember. But what I do remember is they had useful products. So the products were normally small enough to fit in a bag, but sometimes we had huge children's books and mats and remote control cars and little games and things for children. So we went out and we did what I would call the law of averages. So we worked from 8:30 in the morning until 7:30 at night. We came in at 7:30, we tallied, got our cash, what we made, and went on home. That is a long time in the winter in the Midwest. Okay? So when people tell me, well, I can't sell and whatever, they think they're going to sit behind a computer and make millions and millions of dollars. And yes, I'm not saying that you can't, but it's good to know, especially if you can learn how to sell physical products and get out there and get real cash money, put the hard work in and get some real cash money. That's your capital. Instead of begging and trying to save from a 9 to 5 or whatever. And I'm not saying that that's not cool. You do all of these little different things. So your free time, you go out, you have useful products to sell. And this is especially good for people who do not have I guess you're losing hope. And you're thinking in your mind, maybe how in the world could I come up from this? How can I start a business? A business costs hundreds of thousands to start. And some do. Some businesses do. But to know that you could take $20, this is really a no-brainer. And everyone's like, why are you always talking about those keychains? I'm giving the example of my first ever sales experience. Now, I know now that that guy was the owner. But this guy, and he's a white guy, tall, slender, glasses, unassuming, but khakis, button-down shirts. He had like a long little trench coat jacket and a backpack. And we go out with those products. The first day we went out, we started walking north and we, through like a shopping little area, and we start talking to people. And you look up and it's 4 hours later and we're tallying up and we've made, a couple $100 off of little $5 and $10 items. So the item is $5. We pay maybe $2.25. maybe $1.80 something for the item. Maybe $1, whatever they say the set price was, right? So we make the rest in profit. And you're doing that. And so we broke it down. We broke it down even further. That's why I love numbers. So in an hour's time span, somewhere where there is a nice population of people, people are out and about, shopping areas and districts, gas stations, barbershops, nail shops, hair shops, wherever there's a person. I told you the qualifications is only two: adults, spending power, right? Most of the time when you go out, how much money you spend? I've dread going out sometimes. I'm like, and then if I do, I try to bring a $10 bill or something. No cards or nothing. I forget it. Whatever it is, because it's like, stuff will tempt you. And then I'll look through the house to see if there's anything that I need so I can get it while I'm out. And don't be mad that I went out and didn't get said thing that I need. So I go through these little different motions and but most people when they go out, they spend money. Now, if I'm out and I have that $10 and someone walks up on me and they say, and see, a couple weeks back I needed a flashlight. I really did. I didn't need I could have used any type of flashlight. If a person walked up on me with a flashlight keychain thing for $5, I probably would have bought it. I would have bought two. I would have gave them that $10. And there's a bunch of people that would too. Nice, well-dressed person walking up smiling, or they're in my vicinity and they walk up on me, excuse me, ma'am, and put something in my hand. So, to the sales techniques that he taught me. First thing that he used to do, he'd walk up on the people, smile, oh, excuse me, sir, and he'd put the product in their hand or figure out a way to put it in their hand. And then he'd brag on the product. You haven't seen these in stores. Those giant kid book things, I hadn't saw in stores. I hadn't saw that in any store. He was right about that. And we had these giant Mother's Day cards that I hadn't saw anywhere. So we had some good products. I was kind of proud of our little products and stuff that we had, and we used to get to hit the streets with. And I didn't feel scummy. I didn't feel like a pushy, weird salesperson. I just felt like a young person out there. And we had the stamina. We used to walk. Oh my goodness. So we would walk in one direction 30 minutes through residentials and stuff. We walk through whoever outside, whoever we can walk up on and talk to. You breathing, you alive, you a grown person with a wallet. That was a criteria. And he would try to put the product in their hand and he'd start talking to them. And another thing he tried to do is make some type of physical contact on their skin. Some type of way he would try to touch them. And he would back up. So when they go to try to give it back really quickly, they have to make some effort to get to him. And then because they're telling you no when they're giving you back the product. No, I don't know. Go ahead, check it out. Press that button there. And you try to get them to do something. Click it on. It's on. It's already, they come with batteries already. You don't have to buy extra batteries or whatever. You think you need batteries to use it right away. And you try to dispel their trepidation of wanting to take the product. And if you can get them to click it on, it's only $5. No, I don't really want it. That's the second no. Right? And depending on their demeanor, you can go again. Come on, you need it. You can give it as a gift. No. And then you compliment them. Well, you're really nice for even talking to me. Thank you. And sometimes that little plea, right, that's like a pitch. It sounds like you're ending up, but that's really like a pitch. Oh, okay. And you imagine that I've gotten a lot of sales on the third no, for sure. And the people be like, oh, that's pushy. And people be nervous to push the envelope. And yes, you do have to have some instinct. If the person is irritated and things like that, on no two, I'm out. But if they have it in their hand, if I was able to get them to get it in their hand and I just won't take it back. See, when you don't take it back, they have to stay there until you take it back. Okay. So on the sales side, I can put terms and things like up here. I can help you track sales and track progress so you can see a pitch that may work or don't work. I'd say, try a pitch. When I say pitch, you do need to be natural. And I think the guy was when he taught me how to put the product in their hands and get close enough to them to make some type of contact, but then back away so they have to come to you to give you the product back. In itself, that was a technique. And I've tried that and it works. And then ultimately smiling and things like that. So most of the time, if you can get them to take the product in their hand, right? In today's, now this was a decade ago, more than a decade ago, right? Today's climate is way different. You have to deal with people differently. Now, in my opinion, would I just walk up on a person now like the way I did back then? Now, that guy was white and I was black. But I dressed, they told us in the meeting and everything, or they told us on the phone how to dress. And so we showed up the first day. So we were dressed in, I just had on like dress pants and I can't remember, like a pretty girly blouse. And it was cold. So I had on a jacket with fur and stuff in my hood. It was a pretty warm jacket. And like some flat boot shoes. And I put an insole in there. And I don't know, instinctively, I really didn't know what type of job I was going on, but I'm so glad I put that insole in there because we were out for all that time walking around at least 10 hours. We took an hour and a half break though. We ate, Subway was our Subway. That's what we had, right? Anyway, reminiscing. And for sure, shouts out to Steve. That's the guy's name that took me out that day. And I think he worked with me for 3 days. And I just applied, what he had taught me. And I think I did that for about 8 months. And I made a bunch of money. It was hard work, but I made a bunch of money. And I lost weight and my legs were awesome. All that walking had my legs beautiful, okay? And when summer hit, it was just, I had money and beautiful legs. So y'all just can imagine that combination, for a 20-year-old. But it was great training, great training. And I think that was the foundation because it taught me confidence. And so I was confident in what the stuff that we had. Yeah, it was flimsy, little nicky knack type stuff. It's useful to the person you're presenting it to. And the way he was kind of breaking stuff down, because we kind of drove about 45 minutes away from their office and the little warehouse thing that they had. We drove about 45 minutes out and we just picked a shopping district, parked and walked into that district with everybody and all the people. And on the way, he was giving me a lot of valuable information. And that's kind of how he broke down sales. He's just like, you have a product and you're presenting the product to every single person and saying, hey, here's this product. And then that person makes a decision on whether or not it's useful for them. They're making how you presented that product. So you try to present it and you only have that much time. And that's how he broke it down. And you can apply that to anything, tangible or intangible. So products or services. If you have a service that you perform, you figure out who needs that service, you go and talk to those people. And if you have like a really narrow demographic, then you go to where that demographic is and talk to those people, handing out your business cards, talking to them, having conversations, genuine conversations, grassroots type conversations. But you make a point to get some information from them and give them information about you and your business. And you do that over and over and over again. And no, you're not physically getting any cash right now, just like you, or as if you were selling a product, a physical product that you can get some cash from. That may not be, but that may not be where you are with what you're doing. Your service may be something that they have to come and qualify for, whatever. It could be a seasonal service like, tax preparation. It could be a beautification service, something lifestyle type service, health and wellness type service. So not something that once you leave that person that you get physical money. You have to get them to come to you. But when you have but you still need to use these same principles. You have to get out. You're the product now. If you're the one performing those services, you're the product. You get out and you let everyone know that this is what you do. Same thing as if you're physically handing them the keychain, the flashlight keychain. You have to go out and physically and then the great part about technology, you get online and you let everybody online know as well. And you stay consistent with your message. But online is a different ball game, and that's something that I'd have to do separate. I'm sharing an experience with you that laid the groundwork for me, which built the confidence. So if I believe in a product, I can put it in a person's hand and get them to give me cash for it if they figure that it's something that's needed for them. So my job is only to offer them a quality product and give them information about that product. Right? So going forward, that's how you can think of sales. If you're bold enough to get out there and do direct sales and go hand to hand, there are some laws that you may need to look at in your local area. I don't want to get you in no trouble, but I think it's called like peddling or something like that. But I'll tell you, you have to weigh your options. For most people that's coming up from zero, I would rather you have a ticket or a fine or something versus making a super bad choice that can get you killed or get you a bunch of penitentiary time. So it's an alternative to that. And maybe we need to go and lobby some of those peddling laws or something because, as long as you're not hurting anyone. Now, it probably may be problematic to have a bunch of people out just hounding people and trying to get them to buy stuff. I get that that could be bothersome. But maybe they need to look a little bit deeper at that because the youngsters, they really need stuff. They're already out wandering around. Let them get something where they can sell and make a few little dollars honestly and get together and build things with their little money. Even grown over 20, over 30. This is a good way to come from zero. I know people that are zero. Not everyone is just doing wonderful and awesome. And it is stressful. It is very stressful to be there. And that is when people make the worst choices. Oh my God, you can make some bad choices when you up against the wall. Right? And whether it's because of mistakes and things that you made or not. Sometimes this stuff don't even be your fault directly. Crazy catastrophic stuff just happened. And that's why you don't prejudge folks. But I just put this information out to help whoever I can help. And since this is story time, that was my personal story. I think I was averaging maybe 150 to 200 bucks on the weekday. On weekends, when I did like a full 12 hours, because it's really about 10 hours, because we have an hour worth of little pep talk and introducing new products you can take out, all that type of stuff. Eating a whole bunch of sugar and drinking a whole bunch of caffeine so you can jitter, hop out of there. Man, I used to be so wired and ready to go. But then I realized, eating healthier and drinking water gave me more energy. But I still love coffee. To this day, I still drink coffee. But I alternate. But back then, I used to eat, they had those donut things and all type. Ooh, and the good, they were good to us though, but they were making good money off of us. And we were making good money off of them. That's the best type of relationship, right? If you could agree, I mean, I'm telling you, man. So I think it's like, should I work 6 days a week? Okay. So the biggest part with this though, once that money began to roll in, so I wouldn't waste it, I put certain things in place. And I'll come back with a more detailed uh, audio session with a real life tutorial on some of just the real basic personal sheets that I made. But you can always go and just Google uh, personal budget plans, business budget plans, and you can just download that stuff and you can change the fields to say what you want them to say. But I always think that it's good to know how to make it yourself. Some of them things, they want you to download a browser, just all types of catches and twists and turns um, when you're downloading so-called free stuff. So you can sit and make your own. It's not a big deal, and it probably would be good practice for you. Knock some of them cobwebs off your brain, and make your own little personal budget, and then make your own budget for your business or your own projections. And once you get that type of groundwork laid, you're ready to go. And yes, there's some good free ones out there. And you can look behind the scenes on the work, how they programmed it, and you can learn from that too. And since that guy criticized me in the email about me being too simplistic, yeah, we're gonna walk through doing the budget plan. But the thing, no, mine is actually not gonna be the budget plan. We're gonna walk through a money, because if you don't do this part right, you're gonna owe a bunch of taxes. Because cash money, tracking that is easy to get, it's easy to go different places, and you want to be blessed and you want your money to be blessed. So being honest about what's coming in and things like that and tracking it, and if because you'll be surprised, your business now, and you don't even have to really cheat because you already get a bunch of breaks. That's the beauty of being in business. When you're a worker is when you get knocked upside the head. You get knocked upside the head immediately. When you get that paycheck, that money is already gone. Okay? When you're a business, you are getting taxed on what you have left after you've built your business. They want you to grow. Because, see, they're going to knock your head off later. You know, they want you to grow. They want you to grow so you can get workers, so they can knock their heads off. You know, they want you to grow and scale so you can hire more people. Once you hire more people, they can get in there and get them people money. They know they really can't get your money. They let you grow, and they let you have your little money, right? And so in exchange for you building that business and growing that business and saving those tax dollars and all of the perks of being a business, the government gets to come on in and tax those workers, right? And that's the downside. So, I mean, you're the owner, but anyway, all I can tell you is if you feel bad for the people, you see people still stuck in that worker's mindset, you can invest in them. You can see what they're good at and see kind of where their head is at. And especially if they've been loyal to you and they've helped you grow your business, that's how you can give back. Yep. So I'm going to go. I'm going to work on the tutorial with the daily tracker. Now, if you're just already pretty good at building and whipping stuff together, it is pretty simple. If you want to wait for the step by step, that's cool. But all I could tell you is all you do is put Monday through Friday. Again, this is stuff that you can print out and physically write on and on the go. And then after you've gotten that information from your day to day, even if you've written it, you can go and put it into the computer and store it. So that way, tax time comes around, you know exactly what you've made, what you've spent, and all these little different numbers that you're going to need to know to help you save money, you know. Um, Now, buying wholesale products and things like that, it is fairly easy now, but apparently it might have been a little complicated back in the day. I didn't care like where they were getting the stuff. It was useful stuff, and we had flashlight keychains back then too. I really liked the books and stuff that they had for kids. That was cool. They had the ABC mats, good quality too. Good quality ABC mats for the kids. Um, we had like cool, colorful globes and stylish looking small little globes for people's desks and stuff. Man, we had some, I mean, we had products I guess you could take out that was up to $20 a piece. So you would take out maybe 4 or 5 of the top high dollar, we call it high dollar items or whatever. And then a whole bunch of little bitty itty bitty stuff. Right. And then, I mean, it worked. I think it still could work. In the example I was making about the flashlight keychains and the investment is only being $20. So it's 250 bucks with the $20 investment. And so you're just spitting out numbers. No, I mean, yeah, you still have to go out and talk to a bunch of people and sell 50 keychains. So that's the work that you have to do. I just gave you, maybe some clues on how you can sell said keychains. But I want you to think a little further and think about 250 bucks a day times 6 days a week, you know. And the problem with that is good money. And what people oftentimes do is get that type of money and get into feast mode, or they make that not knowing that the next week is going to be raining and you can't even really be out like you were this said week. So now this next week you have a really slow week, but you feasted a bunch of money. Now remember, you just didn't even have nothing, you know? So, and that's good money. It's like, okay, you have to make up in your mind that you're going to duplicate that and get to a point and get to that point before you even touch anything. Like, of course, you have to live. You live very bare, and then you go to that goal, you know. But going forward, I just want to let you know you still have to get out there and put the action to it. Yeah, I can tell you all day long, $20 keychains, order them, come. You sit with them keychains in your closet for 5 years, and never sell not one, right? It's totally up to you. Definitely be thinking about your emergency cash and making some type of cushion so you won't be in that broke situation. Until next time, I hope everything you touch turns to gold.